G'day everybody, welcome back after a little bit of a break here to the English cast for the VCS. My name is Everyday Caster, as always. With me is Yulwei. How are you tonight, man?
Hello! Yeah, we are finally back and I'm feeling great. This first series will be a banger. What are
Uh,
we looking at
it
here?
is it's a bottom of the table clash, which look, can go two ways. Can be some of the best League of Legends you ever watch in terms of having fun, or it can just be a joke. And those are fun too. So it
Yeah,
should
I
be the
think it will be fun either way, right?
exactly.
Yeah,
But
the
yeah, it is 2-0 and 4 teams.
2-0 and 4 teams, but FTV have won 2 games, while Cerberus is still sitting on not a single game victory, so a little bit of a difference there. FTV have looked a little bit better overall, I think. Would you agree?
Absolutely. There's been both teams haven't looked good, but there have been redeeming qualities to FTV's game where I think Cerberus has just looked consistently a mess. Um, I hope they can sort things out. As we do see the teams come up, the one shining light of Cerberus is they've swapped some roles and Pot is in the jungle
Yeah.
and he's looked good. He's looked fine.
He has looked so much better than the other jungler knight. He has
Yeah.
only played 3 or 4 games. I'm not too sure. Should have double checked that. But yeah, Pot now in once again in the jungle, former mid laner. That's why I was a little bit confused. And for FTV's side, we see the same lineup we have seen in all the games so far: Rika, Kuroko, Victory, Police, and B. Yeah.
Yep, they haven't made any substitutions as far as I know. I'm not sure if they have subs ready that they want to put in. If you'd think if they did, they would have experimented with it by now, considering the pretty disastrous start to the split. But oh well.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I liked a little bit of stability for a bottom tier team as well. We have seen some glimpses of hope. I'm sorry, from FTV, especially against good teams already. They took a game of EVOS and Loki and looked convincing in those games. So I like them going for the same team, try to build a little bit of synergy with the new AD carry and police, and see where you'll go with that.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good point. I suppose it's two ways to approach a bad start to a split. Do you try and change players up to find a solution, or do you build on the foundations you have? I think both could be correct depending on the situation, but we're just going to have to see if FTV can get things together. Um, Today's a great opportunity for them to get a win on the board. Uh,
Yeah, I think we
it'd be
both
very
kind of lean heavily to FTV's side. If both teams look like they did before we took the break, but both teams also had 2 weeks to scrim to get more synergy, so maybe Cerberus can finally hit their higher ceiling. One would hope. They were not bad in spring, so I'm still a little confused that they look this abysmal in summer.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good point. The 2 week Rift Rivals break does mean that teams have had so much of a chance. The only problem with it is the top teams from the region obviously were out of the region. So there's no chance they were scrimming against the best teams in the region, which is a shame, but it's still potentially a fair bit of time for them to have practiced the new patch as well. 9.13 is live for competitive, so ideally maybe we have some, cheeky picks like, a certain mid laner that you
Yeah,
pointed out
yeah.
has a ridiculous win rate.
I'll only talk about her. I'll say it's a her, but yeah, it's a she, I should say. But yeah, I'll not say her name until we get to see her. I'm not sure if any pro team wants to play that particular champ. But this is a very unique situation in pro play. Normally, you only have 1 week between patches, which means most of the time the second week of the next patch is the week where the patch really kicks in and all the teams adapt. But this time, with the 2 weeks break, we might actually see a pretty big meta shift from 9.12. The Asian Rift Rivals already showed us some of the priorities shift, especially in AD carries. Interestingly, Zaya's sitting at 87% presence in the VCS so far, and at Rift Rivals she was nowhere near as high. She was sitting at around 39%, 40% presence, which is significantly lower. I was very confused, but yeah, Essence Reaver changes came in, which hurt her a lot.
Yeah, it was primarily the Essence Reaver stat changes that really did bring her in line, which I think was needed. I think she was a little bit of an outlier, her and Siva, who also... Siva herself wasn't nerfed particularly hard,
No.
but it was a lot going along with the Essence Reaver nerfs was not great. And in typical VCS fashion,
We
first
start
game
off
back
with
after 2
mic
weeks,
issues.
mic issues. Gotta love it.
Yeah, that being said, I was still kind of confused that Zaya lost more priority than Sivir, because Sivir builds Essence Reaver as well, and Essence Reaver got nerfed, okay, 100 gold more expensive, but Sivir had a few minor nerfs while Zaya went untouched in the patch, so I would have guessed Zaya would rise even higher in priority, but it was the other way around, which is a little bit confusing to me. We'll have to see what the VCS teams think about those two ADCs. Lucian rose in priority as well. We saw a few awesome dudes in the bot lane as well, especially from Griffin and teams like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the falling priority on the two Essence Reaver AD carries actually suits the VCS. Play Kai'Sa.
Oh no.
Right? Hey, if the gap's closed between the other AD carries, Kai'Sa's actually a bit more of a legitimate pick, and the VCS loves her.
And we have seen many LPL teams play her correctly, which means tier. So maybe some of the VCS teams actually copy the best Kai'Sa style, and we don't have to cast any more of the PTA Stormrazor Kai'Sas, which drive us mad.
For the last 2 weeks, I've gone to bed and tossed and turned in my sleep, and my partner has complained of me going, "Why do you build Stormrazor when it's not buffing anything? It doesn't make sense."
Yeah, I mean, pro players are doing it, right? So it has to be good.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look,
No, get me out.
we joke and tease. It is an earlier spiking build, but other than that, it's just worse.
Yeah, and we've seen many Kaisers actually go the AP route after completing Muramana, which is not a must, I think. You don't have to go AP after 2 items. It's a very strong 3-item power spike, so you're shifting the 2-item priority that Stormrazor Kai'Sa has over to the 3-item priority for Muramana Kai'Sa. I think there's still a little bit of a miss. In terms of full late game Kai'Sa builds, I think you can go Muramana into Rageblade into full crit and be a hyper carry in the late game still. I've not seen many Kaisers do that because they tunnel on the 3-item power spike, and most of the time 3 items is where the game will end, so fair enough. But I want to see at least one full crit Kai'Sa 1v5 in the late game because the champ is capable.
Yeah, it totally is.
Slater, give it to me.
I mean, if anyone's going to do it, it's probably Slater.
Yeah.
The man is pretty good at Kai'Sa. One other thing that's worth commenting on, because I was looking it up just while we've been talking. As far as I can tell, Mordekaiser is enabled.
Oh.
As far as I can tell.
Kiana's probably still disabled, and she'll probably not see play anyway. She's bad. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to be ridiculously good at Kiana.
Her damage is just on the low side. I think she'll get damage buffs and then be fine. I think her kit is cool, and her kit is interesting for pro play as well, but her numbers are too low.
I completely misunderstood how her kit worked. Because I was going so hard in on, she's going to be a top laner, because I thought you actually had to touch the element you wanted. You don't.
Nah. You just have to
You
point
can
at the
get it from
element,
like
right?
half
Yeah,
a lane
yeah.
away. Yeah, so she's absolutely a mid laner.
Still getting the river element, obviously the most famous element ever, is not too easy in mid lane. You have to step a little bit out of the mid lane. You can just lane with grass and rock, and then try to go for roams with river. But yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have to wait a few more patches until we see Kiana in pro play, in my opinion. Maybe a bottom tier team actually wants to pick her up, surprise the enemy. Why not?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if you're a bottom tier team, you may as well,
Yeah.
right? Like, you may as well try and throw a spanner in the works of what has been practiced against. But I think where, assuming Riot doesn't go a little bit too ham with the buffs, because she does need a bit of a buff. Like, she needs a damage. But I'd kind of like to see her settled into a counter pick position. I think with the thing with AD assassins is if they're super prevalent and just picked every game, they're really annoying.
Yeah.
Like if Zed is in a situation where he's picked every game, you just don't want to play League of Legends anymore because he just kills you in half a second. So I hope she settles into sort of a counter pick position, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, and I have to admit, I still have no idea what are good matchups for the champ, when to actually pick her, what to do compositions that are supposed to play around Kiana actually do. So yeah, I still have to research her a little bit more. I don't really expect to see her today. We'll have to wait and see. Another interesting change, nerf, Sejuani going from 105 HP per level to 95, which sounds not as big, but 10 HP per level is actually big for the second item Varmox power spike.
Yeah, it certainly is. I think, I mean, in the context of the VCS, I'm not sure how much it matters because we see a really low Sejuani priority for some reason that doesn't make sense to me, and that's on 912 where she was indisputably busted.
Yeah.
So now that she's a little bit toned down, because as you said, it doesn't sound like much, but it actually is a fairly significant nerf. Champion's not dead by any means, but um, it
Yeah.
is certainly toned down. I'm not. I think we just see a similar priority.
Yeah, she might even completely fall out of play in the VCS or go down to 10 or 20% priority, which is insane if you look at it from an LCK perspective, where she's still almost all the time picked or banned. I saw a sneak peek on the new bottom lane, piloted from by Damwon Gaming, just before this VCS started. It was Sejuani support paired up with Yasuo, and they absolutely stomped the 2v2.
Was Gragas banned?
I didn't catch. I think so. Yeah, probably.
Okay, fair enough. That's
No, I think they early picked Sejuani and then flexed her to bot lane. I played into Yumi Ezreal and got 3 or 4 2v2 kills. To be fair, Yumi Ezreal fed a lot, but yeah, yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's interesting. I don't know if we'll be seeing any Sejuani support in the VCS. I genuinely wouldn't mind seeing some Sejuani top. I actually don't think Sejuani top is a meme thing. I think that's a legitimate thing to do. Um,
Only in very certain matchups.
yeah, it's like it's a counter pick. But
Please never pick Sejuani into Renekton. Oh God.
God. Speaking of Renekton, he's going to be interesting next patch, or in a couple of patches.
I don't think they'll go through with the PBA changes on Renekton.
I don't know.
He is so strong already.
What have you seen the Blitzcrank changes?
No, actually have not looked at them.
His ult has the same effect, just gets rid of shields.
Okay, why
In
not?
AoE,
I guess that's actually super interesting.
It's so strong, potentially.
But Blitzcrank
Obviously,
is pretty useless,
depends.
so why not?
Yeah, I mean, in pro play, Blitzcrank is useless. I can hear the lamenting of Bronze League if Blitzcrank gets any buffs.
I mean, I hate playing against Blitzcrank as an enchanter and mage support player myself, so
Oh yeah.
get that support out of my league. Especially, I have a Duke partner who cannot play against grabs at all. Blitzcrank is not even the worst enemy. If we ever have to lane against Thresh, we can just surrender the game, because he'll be a magnet for every grab in the whole game. It's ridiculous.
Takes a good trip down to Hook City.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully these mic issues do get resolved soon enough.
Talking more about
Unfortunate to start
9:13. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, anyway, absolutely go ahead. Sorry.
I've written down my the most picked comps so far, which will be Aatrox against Irelia top lane, Sejuani against J4 jungle, which might be different for VCS. That's just the global look at 9:13. Then we have Azir and Corki rising to priority in mid lane. Corki, a very good counter pick into any AP matchup. Sivir and Lucian are the highest pick rate ADCs, and then Yuumi and Lux are still sitting on the top of the charts for support.
Well, I mean, those statistics, I have no doubt they're right. But we're in the VCS, where Nautilus is the best support in the game.
He's not.
Sejuani doesn't exist. J4 actually died. Noxus got him.
Only Meliodas can play his corpse, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, he plays J5. It's his son.
Oh, yeah, right.
He's only Meliodas has access.
Yay!
When Riot actually... Oh, we're in. Never mind. I was going to talk about something completely random. So good on you for distracting me, VCS. We are in, finally, to our first champion select here for Cerberus versus FTV. Gonna have to see what 9:13 holds, and I want to find out if Mordekaiser is actually in it.
Yeah, we'll see Red Side Mordekaiser ban if he's disabled. Enabled.
Maybe picked. Who knows? But Karma first ban here from Cerberus. I mean, she's not as ridiculous on 9:13. She did get toned down, but I still think she's pretty ban-worthy.
Yeah, she was absolutely insane in 9:12, and she's still super good in 9:13. Only a very small part of her previously buffed E has gotten tuned down a little bit. It's only the movement speed increase, so the shield is still 2.5 seconds, only the movement speed is now down to 1.5 seconds. That's a very minor nerf, and she's still super strong.
Absolutely. Nico being banned out as well.
Oh!
VCS. Ooh, hello.
I like this ban a lot. I think FTV has looked best if when Rika is on tanks, and this is Rika's best tank, so yeah, get rid of the two champs Rika has actually won games on, Karma and Poppy, so that's a super good start from Cerberus. That's another 9.13 thing we have not talked about, actually.
Silas jungle.
Yeah. He might be number one jungle. We have had one patch without Silas, which is way too much if you look at it from Riot Games' perspective.
Exactly. You've got to bring it back. And Sejuani does get banned out as well. A little bit of, VCS remembered that she exists.
Blue side.
So, I mean, that's probably the two highest priority. I think... Sorry, excuse me. Forgot how to breathe for a second. I think banning Poppy, you're right. Rika has looked at his absolute best on the tanks and in particular on Poppy, but surely that does mean that they want to play a dash-heavy comp here, or just pick Aatrox.
Yeah.
Aatrox is open because they banned Elise instead of Aatrox. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little bit intrigued by the last few bans. Blue side Sejuani. What actually does the blue side Sejuani do for Cerberus? It opens up one more OP pick, maybe? They opt
the
into
issue here
Aatrox
is
over Irelia. Yeah.
Yeah, Irelia is open here, and that's a pretty strong counter.
But it's
But then
Rika
again,
Irelia, and that's not a counter.
Exactly. Poor guy. You have to pick Irelia here, though.
I mean, giving up Aatrox Irelia can be kind of okay. You force the enemy team into picking up AP jungle, and you picked away the best AP jungle remaining. So I don't really see Cerberus picking up Irelia solo lane here. If they have a bot lane Irelia player, then can slot her into the bot lane, or go Aatrox jungle in this case. Picking up Irelia would give them the damage profile problems we have talked about. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
You get rid of damage profile problems
Alright.
by picking more AD, I guess.
Okay, but Jarvan being picked up, I mean, wow, Meliodas is doing his best Meliodas cosplay and actually picking Jarvan, which is good to see. This is actually looking so far. The bans are strange, but in terms of the actual picks, this is actually looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Just from
Love
overall,
early
the
priority.
VCS thing.
But
Seems to be
obviously we
modernizing
have
the
to see the
style.
Nautilus. The OP support comes in.
Yeah, the big daddies here.
And they give up Irelia to FTV for free. That's a little bit surprising. But yeah, they need an AP mid laner, so they had to give up the Irelia. A very good Gragas pick. I really like FTV's approach to this first round. They picked the Gragas, which gave them Gragas and Irelia, because Cerberus could not pick Irelia into the AP jungler without picking AP jungle themselves. So super good drafting from FTV. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, I agree. It's a pretty good. It's pretty well pinched by them. Really did force the Aurelia to be left up. The damage profile, as you said. Kalista ban.
I mean, Kalista is high prior in LCK, but Korean teams have loved Kalista all the time. Whenever she's remotely close to meta, Korean teams will play Aurelia. That's just, not Aurelia, sorry, Kalista. Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong. the Koreans kind of have like the interesting long-term meta just because of how good some of their team players. The Yasuo ban, I guess that is just respect against Gragas Yasuo. I don't mind that ban. I think that's just a good thing to just take care of.
Yeah, it opens up many mid laners.
Interesting. That's a ban against Renekton mid, presumably. We don't really see Aatrox mid these days.
Kind of indicates that the victory wants to go Irelia mid, because you don't want to play Irelia into Renekton mid, that's no fun for the Irelia. So once again indicating a mage for Rika, which he has loved to play. Sometimes he gets caught a little bit too often. His laning phase most of the time is fine on mages. What mage do we actually want to see here? Nico's banned.
Vlad is open.
I'd like more proactivity. FTV look best on proactive drafts.
I agree. Police picking up Lucian as well. That is a proactive ADC. Yumi as well, still open. Won't be picked by Cerberus, obviously.
No, FTV have Lux as well, so no Yumi pick here.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I'd love to see Corki here for FTV into Azir, slot the Irelia top. It's a good matchup for her. Yeah, I think Corki is the best option for FTV in this case. If they want to go mage top into Aatrox, I guess they want to go AD top, which is fine. Jace on Rika is not too great though.
Exactly. If there was no nameplates, I wouldn't necessarily mind this Jace pick, but on Rika, it just hasn't looked good on this style of pick.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Ooh, okay. So he's taking the Aurelia.
I mean,
okay.
I talked about Corki. Syndra should be fine as well. I think Corki is the better pick here because it scales a little bit better and you have more siege. But this is now a very strong mid-game 1-2 item power spike draft from FTV. A lot of CC, super good follow-up. So solid draft overall. I still like the drafting approach. One of the better drafts on red side we've seen.
Certainly, it certainly is. Aside from the Nautilus pick, which is odd and is a bit of a VCS special,
Yeah.
both of these teams, this is a good 9-13 draft.
Yeah.
Like this is fine, which is good because one of the biggest questions we had for the VCS before the Rift Rivals break was what is going on in the champ select. They have such weird priority, and we had Sejuani that got all the way through a draft and didn't get picked in one game, which was absurd on 9-12. But this could be any region. This is a
Yeah.
normal draft.
Yeah, I exchanged the Nautilus for Yumi, and we actually have almost all the champs I wrote down for our top priority picked or banned in this draft. We have Aatrox, Irelia, and top lane, just as I wrote down there for 9.13. Not a big surprise. Sedge was banned, and J4 was picked, so next jungle will be Gragas. Azir was picked. Corki, okay, Corki was not picked, so he's the only high pro global pick that's not represented here, together with Yumi. Sivir also exchanged for Zarya, which is okay, it's kind of whatever. And Lucian Lux is the actual bot lane for FTV, so I have to agree, it's a super good meta read, something we wanted to see more out of the VCS teams, especially on red side.
Oh god, VCS red side. It's both a blessing and a curse, apparently.
If you want to see the worst red side draft of all time, go back to last week's last game of the week with Loki against DBL and look at Loki's comp on the red side. That's if you want to give your players a challenge as a coach, draft that composition. that's a skill check. If you can win with that composition, you're truly better than the enemy.
Absolutely. I mean, just something to comment on immediately is Victory's running heal on Syndra here into an Azir. I mean, Jarvan is scary, obviously. It's pretty hard to dodge the knock-up except with Flash as Syndra. But that's a bit of TP priority lost there because Yado's not afraid at all and is running the TP.
Yeah, it's very much set up to play around the 2v2 mid. Because now with the heal, the 2v2 Gragas Syndra will always win against the enemy 2v2. So I expect Kurko to focus, especially on level 6, maybe level 3 with the Flash E gank as well, to go full for the mid lane prior here. Yeah, I am not too shocked by the heal. I think it's not great, but it's not that bad either.
Yeah. Already some good trading down here in the bot lane. Skill shots traded out, aftershocks procced. It is an aftershock Lux for FTV.
Good to see.
That was the last meta check that we had because it still could have been Comet.
It could also have been Relic Shield Lux. A bit of shade to slay there. Oh man.
I don't know how that happened.
He won the game in the end.
He won the game after selling the item and going Frostbane.
Oh god.
Hot up here in the lane. Ooh, Rika's going forward. The dash is down. This knock-up could hit, but he took a really good route out of there.
Yep.
That was well played there by Rika. Did have to use his flash in the end just for safety.
Actually not sure if he had to flash. I think, flash was good for safety reasons. And he's kind of deliberating between using flash or TP. I think he was under no kill threat there. But if he did not flash, he had to TP, so he invested his flash, and so he does not have to go back and TP, which is a fine trade to make. More lane priority to Rika this way, but he loses his flash.
Absolutely, and unfortunately for him, there is absolutely no lane priority for him. The slow push is happening. There will be a big wave of minions under his tower. But currently it's 24-8 CS, which is pretty ugly.
Aatrox will get the first back, and he'll farm all the other crews.
Victory's very far forward here, but
right side of the lane. Nicely done. He knew
And
his
that's a
jungler was
rough
on the
spot.
bottom side, so enemy jungler had to be coming from top. So very good positioning from the Syndra down in the lane to the downside river, which, man, she was safe against the gank. Only real chance to gank her there was EQ flash extension from the J4, and that would have been a big commitment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was pretty unlikely that anything gets going there from Pot. We will have to see. He's obviously going for a pretty heavy gank setup early on. Didn't take his own Krugs. Those were stolen away by Kuroko. That was an interesting cue there.
Yep.
Easy love. Unfortunate that we had to see that one. But never mind. He didn't really miss anything due to it. But back onto the junglers. Yeah, it's not too surprising to see a Jarvan want to be ganking a lot more early, especially an Electrocute Jarvan. Wouldn't be surprised to see him going a more warrior focus rather than Cinderhulk.
Yep.
I have to say.
And
I personally prefer the Cinderhulk, especially in this team. But, oh well.
Yeah, it serves very different roles in the game. I think Cinderhulk overall is the more consistent route, the higher win rate route probably, and the Warrior J4 is more for I carry the game, I am now taking over this game. More of a Sawn approach, I would say. But yeah, I don't think the Warrior Jarvan is bad in any means. It can absolutely carry an early game, but it's very risky into Gragas, especially with the heal on Syndra. If they actually get to fight 2v2 in the mid lane and he goes Warrior Jarvan, they will get double kills. They have no tankiness, but hold that thought.
That they will, but speaking of damage, Victory gets away there using no summoners. Will be forced out of lane, which obviously isn't ideal. Yado should be able to build a little bit of a lead, but looking where the lane is, it's not going to be anything particularly significant.
I don't like what Pot did here.
Invested by Pot.
Yeah, I have to say Pot should have pushed out the lane with Yado. To get the pulating maybe even, because he got the gank off, but Syndra got a very free reset timer, did not even have to invest a summoner spell, as you rightfully alluded to. So now she just got a free back, so the gank did not do anything for his mid laner. If he pushed out the wave and pressured the turret, there would have been at least one wave of experience going in the favor of his mid laner. So yeah, I really don't like how Pot played out the end of the game there.
I agree. We do see the supports getting on the roam fairly early in this game. Both supports have left the bot lane. Just have to see how long for. Interesting that FTV isn't playing really for any bot lane prio. With a Lux Lucian lane, you definitely can. But they're obviously, as you pointed out very astutely, the mid lane 2v2 is prominently a strong point for FTV here, as they should win every 2v2 with Syndra running heal. It shouldn't even be close. It should pretty much just be a double kill.
Yeah, if you want to learn about back timers and how to abuse back timers, this is a very good game to look at, because the mistake from Pot and the gank there in the mid lane snowballed into a totally free dragon. There was no way for Cerberus to contest this dragon, as we have whoa!
Ooh, Flash has to be burned, but B's under tower and he's locked up. He goes down! Ron OP gets first blood.
What
you
was
can't
that?
go under tower like that against a Nautilus. You know you're not leaving.
Man, B, you have Aftershock, okay, I respect the aggression, but don't flash under turret against Nautilus of all people. What?
Ooh, the engage up here in the top lane, both ults burned, but Pot's here. I don't think this is a dive you want, especially not with Kuroko hanging in the winds, but they don't know he's here. They got to... Oh, yes, they do now with the Predator. Oh, they're going in. Rika's taking a lot of damage here. The Aaron's ult has run out, though. Pot getting the Gragas Express out from under the tower. YT, though. Why did you flash, buddy?
Oh, this has gone horribly wrong for Cerberus. It actually looked fine there with Spot hitting the EQ, but now Victory got the solo call on Yado as well in the mid lane. So FTV control of the game. If not for B inting in the bottom lane, he is now flat bottom lane and groups up with Kuroko. Yeah, he does not want to enter the lane of his...
Oh, Yado going in, hits the Shurima Shuffle. This is the huge turn. The Nautilus ult's used here by Ron as well, but Pot is just taking so much damage.
No mana for victory.
Not the whole Jarvan, I should say. This is a 1-for-1 here. Both junglers going down, but Yado taking so much damage does use that soldier to get out of there.
What's going on?
This is messy.
Yeah, they tried to use the teleport advantage on Azir to get more kills back. Look at the mana. It looks like he does not have enough mana to get the solo kill. He gets the level up, so that's 43 mana. Actually, the Syndra buff coming in handy here. And now he needs Q and ult to kill Yado probably. And he apparently has enough mana. So I can't really blame Yado too much for this, because it did not look like Victory had enough mana. But Victory utilizes the Syndra buff as well as his Corrupting Potion to get mana back to him. Nicely done. Not too much of a mistake from Yado.
No, it's just a very clean passage of play there from Victory. Well played out of him. Now that's a 2-0 Syndra.
Yeah, and look at the CS.
That's scary. Yeah, this is getting a little bit scary here for Cerberus. It's all... The House of Cards has very much fallen over.
And on the other side, though, YT is still dominating Rika in the top lane in a matchup that it should not win, especially on the late game rune choice with the Conqueror on YT's side. So this is looking very good for the Aatrox, at least.
Ooh, and ult's burned again. Just, it seems like as soon as one of them presses R, so does the other. It's not too surprising. But that Aatrox ult really hasn't done anything so far. Neither is the Irelia ult. But yeah, as you said, YT is winning this matchup. And he really should. Ooh, Yado. You're in trouble.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, oh!
Hey, nicely done.
Now, the Emperor of the Sands lives on. That's,
yeah, I think he did not hit from Victory there, so Kuroko still wanted to go for the play. I think that was 100% a kill if Victory hits the stun there, but yeah, stun does miss, so no kill for FTV. Still a good attempt, and they get one turret plating. They got the turret plating earlier, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there was not a huge amount invested either, so in the end, it was worth doing.
It's still the right play. Play around your super strong Syndra with summoner spell advantage in terms of combat capability. And look at her CS, she's punishing Yado for his Azir and very greedy summoner spell choice.
Yeah, exactly. And it is the Electrocute Azir, something we didn't comment on, because obviously there are a few different schools of thought on Azir. And it's also going to be the Ludens Azir.
Yeah, that's not great. Electrocute with Ludens is really not great. Electrocute is better with the full attack speed. Ludens is better if you go for the lethal tempo and get attack speed that way. But this Azir will not be too strong in the mid-game, especially in prolonged fights. Will have a little bit more burst damage, but that's not what Azir is supposed to do.
Meant to be very much...
Ooh!
Oh, Yado. I don't know why he was there. That's...
And that's super unfortunate for Cerberus, because they set up everything to get priority over the Rift Herald. Now mid laner gets caught, does not have his TP available either, so now full priority to FTV, and Cerberus cannot really contest. They can look for a steal, should not go for the fight here. It will not even go for the steal. Yeah, it's the better call, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be pretty hard for... Even if they went for the steal, it'd be pretty difficult to use this before turret plates drop. So it's not going to really do a huge amount for them. If FTV summons it now, yeah, they'll get turret plates off this. They do have time. But if it was stolen by Cerberus, they wouldn't really have much of a chance. So.
Yeah, and taking...
But yeah, turret blades go down in the top lane.
Yeah, at least 2 will fall with the Rift Herald, maybe even 3 if they reinvest there. Yeah,
Ooh.
that Blitz ult does not do too much damage, but they get 3 platings, and now Kirkus here. Oh.
Yeah, unfortunately the wave's not in the right position. If there had been a wave, there was dive potential, but with no minion wave there, that was super dangerous. Definitely not what you want to be doing.
And this is one of the plays we
Another
see a lot in the VCS with the Rift Herald, actually overcommitting to Rift Herald on one side of the map and giving up plating on the other side. Because in the same time they got platings in the top lane, the bot lane for Cerberus worked on platings for their own. So in the end, Rift Herald not getting too much value comparatively. They don't even get the first turret. I don't like to see overly focused play of Rift Herald. Because Rift Herald will give you the platings anyway. You don't need to invest more people. Just get Rift Herald and 2 people and let the other people death.
Aggressive.
Yeah.
But they do get first tower in the end. Police and B swapping up to the top lane, picking up that first brick, and it's now a 2k gold lead for Cerberus, which will get it reduced, for FTV I should say, which gets reduced down to 1.5 with the answered turret. And Cerberus picks up an Ocean Drake, which is nice.
So it's now back to only 1k. So FTV could have gotten out with 2 or 3k gold lead if they played this passage a little bit better. They had all the advantages in their head. They had a super strong mid laner, the Rift Herald is secured. In the end, they only trade the turrets, get the first turret, but it's only a little bit more gold. They give up another dragon, so actually not too great in terms of rotational play. And FTV still sitting very comfortably in this game. 2 items is where they are looking at to finish, get the big advantage in the game. Lead could have been at 3k now, so at least Cerberus is still in here.
Yeah, the game's certainly not over. The difficulty here is how do you salvage this mid lane? Oh, that's not how.
Not this way.
Not like that. Yeah, that's now a 0-3 Azir, 3-0 Syndrome. This is really scary. Look at that CS lead in the mid lane.
Yeah, and this is just super arrogant play from Yado. Again, not flashing away. He has not gone for the Mercury threat in this matchup, which you almost have to do. Look at the CS. It's now sitting at 70 CS.
Yeah, it looks like he's going Graves. Ooh, B gets caught in the Cataclysm. Will kill him? Guys?
The shield.
There's the reset for YT. He just kind of stopped the attack, which didn't look good. But look at the healing on Aatrox. This is not a fight you want to take if you're FTV now. But
police flashing in. What? What are you doing?
What do you do? This is a triple kill, quadra kill all of a sudden here for YT.
What? Police lost his mind there. Well, I was so confused. What did you see in the play? He flashed straight into Aatrox and got annihilated. Okay, FTV doesn't want to win the game, it seems like.
Engaging onto an Aatrox with an activated ult.
First you get to see the solo kill again. And another time, Victory does not have a lot of mana, but it seems to be enough all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, Yado.
I think he had to press A to maybe get a shield, but he was...
The snowballs just hit him. Oh no. Construction worker coming back. I'm very scared now.
Yeah.
Oh
wow.
That's not great. I'm very sorry. If
this
gets louder.
This is a real fight. I just want to see this. So Aatrox activates ult, so you never want to engage on that, and then they do.
Yeah, and B once again runs into the turret, and now look at police. Look at police here.
But what do you see? Whoa! What did you see in this play, police? Oh, it's such an in.
Oh no, police thought he could be the hero. Victory carried the game so far, so police wanted to overtake him, and then he just threw away even more kills. And now the gold is back to even. Very good stage for Cerberus. Their mid lane is still absolutely useless, but at least they have a super strong Aatrox now.
Yeah, and I mean, Aatrox is one of the scariest champions in the game to have fed.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've seen what an Aatrox can do if they're fed. We've seen a certain raid boss Aatrox early in the league.
Yeah,
I don't
assisted
know
by
if
a certain bird there, but yeah, this Aatrox just got all the kills in the last team fight.
Kroko going super aggro here, just walking at Cerberus.
It looked like all the players had a little bit of ping issues there. B just standing there, contemplating if you actually wanted to invest his ult, and then gave Ronopi a lot of time to activate his stopwatch. In the end, a clean pick on Kuroko.
Yep. Very that infamous land ping coming into play. The braid machines have a little bit of a delay. Will be top lane tower pushed, but I don't think they quite get it. Victory is still really, really strong here. YT doesn't want to get arrogant just because he's gotten fed. Still can't kill YT under turret by any means.
Yeah, and we look at this pick again from Kuroko, on Kuroko, I should say.
It was just Ron just walked at them really, but yeah, really disjointed there by FTV. Getting much like your wall, they really got hammered in that fight.
Yeah, very sorry about this. My house is actually not going to be standing much longer, it seems like. But yeah, I hope the construction will be done soon, so we can have a more clean, nice stream here.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. It's not. I mean, you can't do that much about it, unfortunately. No. You have to put up with it.
I'll try to mute myself.
You're fine. That is a Mountain Drake being picked up there for Cerberus. It's actually a pretty big boon. They had a decent Baron comp. Actually, they had a pretty good Baron comp. If they got a better Azir build, I don't really like this Azir build.
Yeah, this Azir is just absolutely useless. He's just there to hold waves. It's on top and ADC to carry this game. Especially look at Easy.
Hook there on the B. This could be an engage, but the double snare here should stop anything. Never mind. I tell a what? He just vanished.
Yeah, that's 50% crit, super strong mid-game Easy Love build. And it might actually be Cerberus' first victory of the season, because this now looks super good for them. They got over the 2-item power spike for the enemy team. They have a super strong ADC.
Rika, you're in trouble. Rika, you don't want this fight.
No.
He doesn't have flash. He needs a few seconds. Oh, goodbye.
300 crit. Aatrox is a fun champ, especially if you're behind.
Yeah, Aatrox is so balanced. Has a lot of comebacks.
I actually think Aatrox is pretty balanced. A little bit on the strong side.
I actually, I'm just a bit.
Yeah.
We've seen so many Aatrox players, but I actually think he's completely fair. When he gets ahead, he's very, very strong.
Yeah, that's actually super strong win more champ.
Yeah, good shockingly enough, when champions are fed, they're strong.
And you're not supposed to win lane on Aatrox, so good play to YT.
Yeah,
Rika against Rika's Irelia in a lane that Rika should dominate, especially with this rune choice. I alluded to it earlier. If Aatrox goes Grasp, he is a little bit better early lane phase. But this Aatrox won full team fight, full late game, and still got out on top in the laning phase with very little jungle assistance. So.
Yeah, and I actually think that has pretty serious implications for the series, because I think you can't do this again now. Like, if you turn nameplates off, trading, giving away Aatrox but getting Irelia, that's fine. Because Irelia should win. Oh, hang on. It's just. Never mind, he went over the wall. But now, because Rika's displayed that he loses that matchup anyway, you can't do that anymore. You have to ban the Aatrox.
Yeah, we can get back to the very first ban phase in this game, where Rika's Poppy was banned out. And we talked about Poppy being his best champ and his most successful champ this split. So good adaptation from Cerberus, very good scouting. That being said, FTV still was in the driving seat, especially from Victory's play early on. He has to have a very hard conversation with his teammates for inting away all his advantages.
Yeah, this is Victory's probably getting some Nam flashbacks from solo queue times.
Absolutely. Look at his stats. He's still on 4-1-1, but he can't do anything about YT. YT is such a big problem for him.
Especially like it's an Aatrox as well, which is even worse for Syndra. Because he's almost certainly going to get a kill in fights.
There's still a very arrogant item build for the Aatrox. No MR. Not a single MR item build up. So there's actually a little bit of a chance to burst him down.
There is. Death Dance. Oh, Yado taking. Yado is just complete. This is basically just a straightforward.
Yeah, there's no Irelia on FTV side and no Azir on Cerberus' side.
This is. It's an interesting game, sort of categorized by its misplays more than its super strong plays. Police flashing under a activated Aatrox queue. Let's say.
But we have seen some very good plays as well. Look at Victory's laning phase has been super good. YT's laning phase as well. So not only mistakes in this game of these 0-4 teams, some very good plays as well. And I think overall both teams have players that are capable. The team synergy is just not there yet, especially on Cerberus' side. Their early game seems to be a little bit off.
Yeah, I agree. I will say both teams look better than their last outings. Still, obviously, Pot in a little bit of trouble. Never mind. And also, something we haven't commented on. Yeah. It's a Cinderhawk Gargoyle Stone play.
I think he adapted his build. I don't think he went into the game with a plan to go with Cinderhawk, but I really like this adaptation.
I agree. Yeah, I think this is a super good adaptation. It's what they needed. I think the Gargoyle Stoneplate as well is super valuable against a fed Syndra. Yeah. It just means that he's no longer a target for Syndra. You cannot be investing damage into that because it's just a complete waste.
Now GA built up for YT as well, so even though he has not built any MR, he can actually now withstand the immediate burst pressure there from Victory. This is super hard to win now for FTV. They have to rely on big mistakes from YT especially, maybe even from EasyLove, because they just don't have the damage to win a straight up 5v5 team fight right now. Police sitting on a little bit of a low in terms of Lucian damage. Goes full crit after first item.
Yeah, and he's half an item behind as well.
Yeah, and even if he completes the other half of the item, the 2-item synergy is still not as strong as the 3-item synergy on the side of EasyLove. So, yeah. EasyLove also 4 TCS ahead, so EasyLove's so much stronger in teamfights.
Yeah, in terms of the AD carry matchup, it's really not even particularly close in terms of how much damage they're going to do. Xayah is going to do ludicrous amounts more damage than Lucian will in an extended 5v5. We really need to see some excellent play out of Kuroko and out of Victory.
Ooh,
Victory is going to continue. Ooh, Ron, though, gets caught.
No. What?
You could have flashed over the Baron wall. I think that would have been safer, but he gets out anyway on about 2 health.
Wow, that was Gragas ult, Lux ult, Lucian ult, and Syndra ult invested to get the support, and they don't get the support. So, yeah, if you had any comms about who wins the team fights, I think you got your answer there.
Yeah, you can't even kill a Nautilus that was caught incredibly far out.
This Lux build kills me more. Why? I don't want to touch on that. It's not too important in this game, but yeah, not the greatest build from B. Anyway, what can FTV do to get back into this game?
Well, they have to play on mistakes, and the Baron pit is the pit of mistakes, right? There is a luck result, so there is. Whoa, 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 pot! Whoa! They're just going straight on victory. I really like this. They know that's the win condition for FTV. There is no fight now. Victory
Dominance asserted.
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if he needed to flash over the wall like that, but it worked out. So
it looked super cool, I have to say. He was very decisive, and now it's YT in the back line.
He wants to be the raid buff. He doesn't have ult here, so this is actually super risky. Oh, I thought the Lux ult actually had that.
Yeah, Gregor's ult and Lux ult could have stolen that away.
Oh, no. This is
this is a nail in the coffin. This is Cerberus has just won the game. There's really nothing FTV can do anymore. This would be the first win for Cerberus in the whole split, so already looking so much better. That being said, FTV had everything to win the game and threw it away with the mid lane team fight.
That quadra kill was just
it was a tragedy.
It was a divine comedy almost. Just so many errors being made by FTV around that play. It was good play out of YT as well, but he should not have gotten 4 kills.
And if you look at police stats, he's 0-1-0. As we look at this again, so pot is in vision, still flashed over there. And super good ult timing to cancel out the stun, because you're not interruptible, right? On the ult cast from pot.
Unstoppable, it was strong. Unfortunate for YT that he used his ult to get the movement speed, so when he went over the wall here, he wasn't actually super threatening. Considering how fed he is.
But he actually blocked the way in for Kuroko. Even though he didn't do that much in terms of threatening enemies for kills, Kuroko could not enter the pit because he played bodyguard and placed himself in front of Kuroko there. So nicely done. Kuroko had his flash available. I think he had to flash over there and try to go for the steal.
I think he could have gotten it as well.
That was not a great smite.
It wasn't secured by Pot, it was secured by Easy Love. It was really dicey. Yeah. But now we just have to see Cerberus close this one out. This is the last sort of hurdle. It's going to be very, very difficult for FTV to win this game. In fact, it's almost impossible, especially with Kuroko just getting caught and melted. YT's activated.
FTV can already think about the next game. Maybe don't go Rika Aurelia again.
Yeah, I mean, just put Rika on a tank. Seriously, you have to just pick a tank.
And even on mages, he's okay. Just don't get him in a position where he has to do good for the game to actually be winnable.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just another kill. The stats are being padded, but it will be game 1 going to Cerberus. They've picked up a win.
Yeah, for a 0-8 team, the closing looked super practiced, super used. They were used to winning the game, so you can clearly see they had some success in scrims. This was not the first time in months that they got in this position, so we get to see very clean closeout and the first win of the whole spring for Cerberus.
Yep, they're on the board, and they looked pretty good overall.
Their team fighting especially impressed me.
Yeah, their team fighting was clean. I think there are obviously some issues with mid-game calls and that sort of thing. But overall, I think around the Baron pit especially, the way YT, as you said, blocked entrance for the enemy jungler, that was super good. The fact that he won lane at all, like YT had such a good game.
Yeah, YT was super good. And YT was one of the problems in the earlier weeks. He got subbed out for LL, and LL, in my opinion, looked a little bit better than YT. But today, YT showed that he's still in contention for the starting spot, and Yeah, he was the better top laner on the day, that's for sure. It's not too hard against Rika, probably the worst, okay, not the worst, there's Neven, but one of the worst top laners in the VCS.
Absolutely. He's not looked good. I mean, even like in that draft, there weren't even that many mages he could pick. Like Nico, they banned Nico.
Yeah.
Did you not want to maybe float that because he could pick it?
I mean, I have to come back to the draft. I think both drafts were really good, and there were some super good mind games from servers. I loved the Poppy ban. I think Poppy was one of the key picks into this series, and I want to see them continuing banning the Poppy in the next game. Maybe try to force Rika on Irelia or something like Irelia again. And I want to see Rika go for either tank or safe mage, something like Nico, Rumble.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe a
Rumble
Victor,
could have
even a cannon is possible. Just don't go melee into melee and lose the lane. That's not acceptable. Your team can win this match, but not if you end.
Yeah, that's very true. Inting makes it hard. But we'll have to see what happens in game 2 here. I don't think this is by any means unsalvageable for FTV.
No.
There's definitely paths back into this for them. We could see 3 games. We could still see FTV winning this. But good look from Cerberus. They're on the board.
Yeah, and I think the MVP discussion is not really a discussion in this case, because White had an insane game.
Yeah, the MVP discussion is about 2 letters long, and it's Y and then T.
Yeah, YT with his first MVP for us, and I'm pretty sure he'll get the official MVP as well.
Yep, almost certainly. It would be a crime if he didn't.
Absolutely.
I mean, you could almost make an argument that Victory was valuable.
Victory had a super good game as well. I think if FTV won, that was an absolute 100% MVP to Victory. And FTV should focus on mid lane 2v2 again and look to once again win the 2v2 and play through Victory, because that almost won the first game, if not for Police, Rika, and Kuroko inting away at the mid lane to fight. So. And B as well. B got caught to start the fight.
Yeah, exactly. It was not a good time at all. But yeah, if they tighten up their play, we could see a much closer game too, and hopefully a much closer series overall.
Yep. See you guys in 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Welcome back to Game 2. After we just got ahead a lot in Game 1, but threw it all away in one big teamfight in the mid lane. So, will they actually be able to close out Game 2? Cerberus with their first win of the whole split, coming back after a 2-week break. Yeah, what do you think, Everyday? Will we see another clean? Nah, it was not clean, but will we see another victory out of Cerberus, or can FTV strike back?
I mean, I think it's hard to read into what's going to happen into Game 2 based on Game 1, because I think there's going to be a dramatic shift in the draft. I think Rika just cannot be put, as you said a few times in the first draft, and you're completely correct, in the first cast, I should say. You can't put Rika in a situation where he has to win lane or you're screwed. And he was in that situation because Irelia has to beat Aatrox, and she should.
She absolutely didn't.
Rika is just simply not a particularly strong top laner, especially not on that style of champion. He's pretty good on tanks. I actually really like his tank play. But it's just not the meta at the moment. And I think something absolutely has to be done. That said, they're on blue side this time, so they can adjust their draft. Still banning out that Nico, though.
I'm already surprised.
Like, they should float that and first pick it for Rika. Yeah,
absolutely. If you get a bad matchup on top, just pick it for bottom. It's so flexible. It's such a good pick.
Exactly.
Karma coming in as the second ban for the first ban for Cerberus. Now Jace for FTV, which is very surprising. Jace was not picked in the last game.
No, he was hovered by both teams, but that might be a nod to them wanting to change up their draft. Maybe put Rika on something a little bit safer. It's actually Cerberus banning out the Aatrox this time.
Poppy is still open, as well as Sejuani. Lux hits the bench this time. So if Sejuani and Poppy and Irelia are probably the highest priority champs right now on the draft, I'd like to see another Poppy ban. I think that's the most important champ to ban away from Rika. Just let them have Irelia first pick. You should not be scared of Irelia first pick.
Yeah, exactly. They ban out the Sejuani instead, which is a bit more of a tier list ban rather than a target ban. Not the most incorrect thing ever, but I think you're right. I think just banning away Rika's tanks is a better idea. The one thing I don't want to see is don't first pick Poppy. You don't have to.
No. Yeah, you really don't have to first. Yeah, this is a way better first pick. Last time this champ was banned out, Elise hit the bench on the red side. So this time Kurko has already shown many great Elise games. So I like this first pick. Goes well with an AD mid laner. Victory might look at the Irelia himself. Go Poppy Irelia in the next round and I will be super happy for FTV.
Yeah, I think that's a legitimate pickup here. Tahm Kench being hovered here.
Super high solo queue win rate and very popular in especially Korea.
I think his solo queue win rate's not as a support though.
No, he has insane win rates and support and top. I think he's sitting at 55% as support. I have not checked for top lane, but yeah, his support win rate is very high as well. He's just a little bit overtuned in terms of numbers right now.
I mean, his kit is always good, which is, his W is just ridiculous.
Yeah, he has a lot of damage on lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Thresh is the immediate counter pick.
Well,
Yuumi doesn't exist, and the Callista.
Okay, I like Callista into Tahm Kench. That's a classic counter pick. You can wait out his thick skin and then pierce through him with your rend.
Yep, absolutely.
But Thresh? Why Thresh?
It's super interesting. There's so many other supports there, but I mean, to be fair, Yuumi Callista, not a good lane.
It's probably not great. They banned out Lux themselves. So now it's a very LCK draft from Cerberus with Varus and Tahm Kench. We saw a lot of Varus Tahm Kench in Rift Rivals Asia. So this is probably a little bit of the scouting coming in from Cerberus on 913. And no Lucian, no Sivir, no Zarya picked up as ADCs. Complete change in ADC meta, it seems like.
I mean, this is 5 unique champs here from the last draft. Elise was banned last game in the first round and Calista in the second round, but the priority here is completely different from both teams. Looking at how game 1 went, evidently neither team was particularly happy, even though Cerberus did win. Don't actually like the Azir ban. Azir did really, really badly.
Yeah, Azir on Yado's hands looked super bad. I don't like banning out Azir.
You're happy you put that up, but Irelia being banned out by Cerberus.
And
again,
this setup for Cerberus looks a lot like Gragas Yasuo, I have to say. Please ban out Yasuo, because this is a safe bot lane, so you don't have to care about bot lane. If they pick up Yasuo Gragas here, that's super mid lane focused draft to counter Victory's super good laning phase from last game.
I don't understand. Like, this is super obvious Gragas Yasuo, right? I mean, we still might not see it picked up.
I'd hope it would be picked up.
I would too.
Oh no. Why? Why would...
it can still be Yasuo mid.
To be fair, they have banned out the Poppy, so Camille actually doesn't have the most obvious counter in the top lane, with Poppy hitting the bench. And now double AP solo laners with an AP jungle. Once again, FTV wants...
Yeah, I think there's a term. I think you've said it once. Oh, hello. Whoa! I don't like the. Yeah, okay.
Oh, this is even worse. Oh man, Rice was the better choice.
There's a word. You've used it once or twice. What is it? Damage profile.
Yeah.
I think you've mentioned it like once.
Yeah,
it's not looking great.
Look at the damage profile once again. It's another scaling Vladimir draft in the top lane, which is super useless if you have triple AP, because all the enemies can itemize against you. So the scaling will only kick in at something like 40 minutes once he gets penetration as well. So this Vladimir in Rika's hands will absolutely not impact the game, is my prediction. Let's see.
This draft is horrific.
I mean, I like the bridging bot lane, the mid-game bot lane that will give the other lanes time to scale, but please don't pick triple AP topside.
Don't put Rika on Akali.
It's better than Vladimir, in my opinion. Akali is easier to play.
I almost want to see Victory on Akali and just have him go top. I just don't think Rika as a player I think he's just going to get bullied.
Well, Akali is super safe online. He'll probably lose in CS because he's Rika, but he'll not give up too many kills or anything. So
I agree with that. He shouldn't die, but...
Yeah, on the other hand, you're right. What is Rika's Akali supposed to accomplish? Akali from behind? Great. Super great. Especially into Tahm Kench.
I don't understand.
A little bit of the support comparison here. Interesting warding stats going in Ronop's favor, but only in wards per minute. Vision score is in B's favor, which is surprising. Indicates that Ronop's wards are not too effective. He's just spamming wards, but they are not really giving his team a big vision advantage compared to B. That's a very interesting statistic to look at, because the wards per minute were significantly higher.
Absolutely, and I mean, vision is one of the ways, is one of the most obvious failings of bad teams typically. This damage profile for FTV, we almost say it too much, but God, this makes me sad. Yeah. I just don't understand the Vladimir pick.
Yeah, and
What does it
as I
do?
said before, they have the opportunity to pick up Irelia early on in the draft, go Elise first pick and second round Irelia and one of the two bot laners. You don't have to be worried that either pick will get picked away from the enemy bot lane, especially with Tahm Kench already secured. Just go Thresh second phase. Why are you securing Thresh so early?
And Thresh isn't going to get banned.
No. And even if it,
And even if it did,
yeah,
Nautilus.
yeah, you can go Nautilus, Alistair, anything really with Kalista. I mean, Thresh Kalista is super good in lane, but Nautilus Kalista is good as well. Alistair Kalista can be good. It's better in late game anyway.
Exactly. It's just interesting. Early on, worth noting, Kuriko not getting a leash, so it should be early priority for Rika, but I don't think that's going to remain the case for very long.
And it's mirrored jungling, both starting on the top side. It's interesting. We have not seen too much mirror jungling. Most of the time we see double leash happen.
It's true. It's going to be very interesting. This top lane is going to have to be a point of focus. We really need to see Rika do a bit better, because Akali from behind, it's just barely a champion.
Yeah, and thinking about ways for FTV to win despite of the draft, it has to come from kills in the bot lane, in my opinion. They have picked this super strong early game bot lane, especially at level 6. They will spike again. Level 1 is super strong. They need to look for dives on the bot lane. It will be hard against Ron OP with Flash and Cleanse as well. So very good defensive capabilities on the other side, but all the other lanes are not gankable really. Maybe you can construct something to kill YT, but even if you do, what will that get you? Not a whole lot. I think you need to get your bot lane ahead. Your bot lane is the one way to get AD damage and to get an advantage in this game. So very obvious focus for FTV.
Yeah, exactly. It is a fairly quiet early game here. We may see Pot actually try something up towards the top lane. No, never mind. Rika sort of reading the map there, realizing that Pot was probably in the area, confirms it with the Scuttle Crab spot.
Yep. Good awareness from Rika. Has got the early push, so nothing to criticize him for in the early game. Nicely done.
Yep. Early back here out of Yado. Going to be super early. It doesn't have TP either, so it did get a good reset timing, so it's not going to matter, but just interesting that he goes back just for another door
absolutely nothing.
Fairy charm.
Yeah, that's confusing. He's scared of the 2v2 kill coming in from Kurko and Victory, but it's not the greatest gank setup for Vladimir. It's pretty much Kurko has to do everything in the gank there. Vladimir's only contributed in damage. So a little bit confused on the back timer, even loses a few CS on the turret.
Yeah, it is super interesting. I mean, the Fairy Charm has basically taken the role of the Dark Seal, just because you just want mana from it. Obviously, it's all it does. Ooh, a little bit of damage in the top lane, but Akali has Shroud, so may as well not even have a health bar in lane because you're never killing her. Just super fair.
That's why I kind of like the Akali pick on Rika, because he'll just be able to farm. You'll have to see if he's capable on the Akali in the later stages of the game. I actually don't think Akali is that much about mechanics at the moment. It's more seeing the opportunity, seizing the opportunity, and looking for creative plays. Obviously, every champ has mechanics, right? And she has skill shots to hit. But it's not Irelia levels of mechanics involved, in my opinion.
Very true.
Random ignite drop.
Yep, Victory is pretty sad about that one. Never fun to just randomly get ignited for free. Just a bad time.
And the early game has been pretty quiet, but already 600 gold lead for FTV stems mostly from jungle, it looks like, a little bit on the bot lane as well. Probably a little bit of a gold lead on the Thresh, considering the support item just generally generates more gold.
Ooh, Victory in a lot of trouble here, taking heaps of I feel like there could have been a commit. But, oh no, they saw Kuroko coming and they knew that, ooh, with the bot lane, Victory's burning here. Ooh, just barely survives. It was a little bit dicey there. Well, good restraint there by Cerberus to call off the chase because they knew that Thresh was already roaming and they could see the enemy jungler. Well done there.
Yeah.
But
ooh, all in the top lane. Wait. Yeah, Marika, Shroud, as you said earlier, Shroud is there to save him. Once again, he gets away.
Absolutely. A lot of damage there onto B in the bot lane as well.
And we see something, the top laner for Dumb. Oh, the thought? Flash? Okay, nothing much. Whoa.
Whoa, lots going on here. Yado, you're in a lot of trouble here. Flash was already down. Whoa, not the cleanest passage of play there, but they do pick up first blood onto an Elise.
It was so insanely unnecessary from Yado. He wanted to get revenge from the last game, but actually threw away everything there. He had another flash. Oh, another engagement on Easy Love.
Easy Love gets hooked so much damage.
He's dead.
Yeah, no, the
no,
heal
not
comes
bad.
out after he gets out of the belly. He's okay, but that's a lot used there. Well, it's actually just the heal, but a lot of damage as well. YT's roamed down to mid lane here. Interesting decision. I suppose his lane was fully pushed in. There wasn't really much for him to do in top lane. But this could be FTV picking up a pretty free turret play. In fact, it is. So.
Yep. And look at the gold lead. It's already sitting at almost 1.5k. 1.5k now hit at 8 minutes. With most of the advantage coming from jungle, with the early kill secured from Kuroko. Once again, Yado not looking too great in the mid lane. A big mistake from him.
Yeah, he's very much looking a little bit rough, but
yeah, look at the items for Whitey. That was what I wanted to touch on. That's getting more popular, especially Nuguri, the top laner for Damwon, builds this on bruisers almost every game now. Double Doran's Blade. It has fallen out of meta before, but now seems to be coming back. Strong early laning phase.
Yeah, I mean it's super gold efficient while you still have the blades. But
obviously delays your later build, right? So now 24s will hit at 17, 18 minutes maybe at the current pace, which is very late. And he's falling further and further behind.
Yeah, he's actually, like, it's a significant lead here. B, you're not a huge amount of health. I don't know if you want that. But also, we just see that Tom Kent's just... How do you engage on this?
Yeah, super annoying for Police and B. I think against other supports, they would have already secured the kill on Easy Love.
Yep, I completely agree. I think they're playing super well. I mean, interesting for Police here. Just first back, bought Berserker's Greaves.
Yeah.
Very clean. Yeah, it's super good on Callista.
And sometimes Callistas like to go for early damage as well.
YT in a bit of trouble here. Has to flash. Scared of the second part of the Akali ult.
Yeah. Akali ult still used? Oh, just for minions. Okay. That's not too relevant there. I think some Callistas still go AD first, but in this particular lane they want to get a lot of spears in run OP, as Rika will just die.
Oh wow,
absolutely no reason. That's the Rika special.
Yep, that was just, I don't know what happened there. I didn't even catch it. I looked away for 2 seconds.
Had flash available as well. Did not respect the ult timing and stayed in lane with way too little health. Big mistake by Rika. Sad to see, because he had such a good laning phase leading up to this play.
Yeah, it's so disappointing there just to see him throw that lane away. And we need it to continue. We need, I mean, at least I was excited to see Rika actually doing well.
Yeah.
But just throwing it away by giving a kill away, the CS is now closed. Not a good situation.
Yeah, it's still a lead for FTV, but it shrinks. And if it continues to shrink, Cerberus certainly is easier to execute, especially in the later stages of the game. Super good siege, very safe 3-man mid lane stack as well. And they have a good split pusher who has now gotten ahead in the side lane matchup on YT. So it's a very obvious 4-1 composition with a little bit of roaming coming in from 1OP on the Town Kench.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of ways that FTV wins this game, because even though they do currently have a 2k gold lead, which is good, obviously, but we need to see more than that just because of how bad their damage profile is. They have way too much AP. I think we need to see Police having a huge impact, so I'm kind of glad to see him leaving the bot lane here and moving around on the map.
Yeah, and teamfights are actually looking super hard for FTV. No resemblance of a front line. Thresh will not be a sufficient front line there.
Ooh, so much damage coming out here. Cerberus taking heat. Rika going in. He had way too far, though.
Oh, Rika. He saw the blood there.
YT in the back. Ooh, terrible Grag Assault. Hits absolutely nothing, but flashes are burned. Kroko taking a lot of damage. 1OP has to burn that thick skin, but he's on nothing. But he's going to get away anyway. YT a little bit too far, but gets eaten up. The health bars are so low. Yado trying to flash forward there to get
this gets hurt.
But Victory ends up getting cleaned up there. This teamfight is so messy and it's on a knife edge.
And once again, it's a mid-game teamfight going in favor of Cerberus, and they will profit with even more.
Oh, the bubble hit!
Yeah. Observers, please.
He goes down. Yep.
Rika's here again. Let's go, Rika. Hero play coming in. Never mind me.
Yeah. Oh, hello. Kuroko just... What?
Hey, Kuroko.
Why was he there?
I have no idea.
Rika does pick up a kill there onto Easy Love. 1OP potentially delivering himself
This
as
is
well.
pure chaos.
This is one of the messiest team fights I've seen in a long time, and we've seen some messy team fights. So,
what actually happened?
Yes, never change. How did Kuroko die?
Everyone died. Okay, we have to see this again. I hope we get to see a really long replay. Okay, here we go. So the setup looks okay for FTV. They hit the first hook. And now Easy Love and Ford are kind of forced out of the fight. Rika over pursues Odiado. Really not knowing his damage there. Yeah. But now YT in the back gets the AP shield and can't proceed. Okay, so now the fight resets. Very good stopwatch from RonOP to get the positional advantage. And now Easy Love's time to shine here, as he has free fire, but Q does not hit. And sadly, we don't get to see the rest of the fight, where all the kills happen.
Yeah. Unfortunately, because another team fight might be brewing. B is about to fall asleep. Yeah, you're dead, mate.
Yeah, but they got the Rift Herald, at least.
Yeah, but it's a Rift Herald at 15 minutes.
Yeah, very true, very true. Just check the time as well, and that's the Rift Herald you're very sad about. Especially giving up a kill for a 15-minute Rift Herald is not great, as they will lose mid lane control as well, so not even getting the first turret probably. Rika is super hungry for kills here. Seems to smell a lot of blood in the water. Man, such aggressive play from Rika. I'm not used to him being this active in teamfights. That being said, he likes to die a lot in fights. Rift Herald was still there.
Rika just didn't know his damage thresholds. It's
No.
just super disappointing.
Yeah, that just shows he's not the most practiced Akali player. Because if you know if you have played 100 games on Akali, maybe 20, 30, you'll know that that was not enough damage to kill the enemy there.
Yeah, exactly.
Very much looked like I have to play Akali for the flex option kind of Akali player.
Yeah, I mean, again, this just comes back to I don't really like the decision of putting Rika on the Akali. It was unfortunate that they couldn't really get him onto a tank. Just, I think you made a good point that it was good for a safe laning phase, but overall, just in the end, he hasn't been able to execute in team fights.
Looking at things like Rift Router's Asia, there was a lot of Cyan actually coming in, especially for JDG and their top laner Zoom, who likes to play the Cyan. I think Rika should look at the Cyan as well, and maybe consider another tank, because banning out one tank is not too hard. Just hit the Poppy button all the time against FTV.
Yeah, but I mean, like as you said, Sion can come in. There are other tanks that exist, you know. Also, Rumble as well. It's not a tank, obviously, but it's a mage that we could potentially see Rika on. It's just such a shame.
I'm scared for Rika Rumble. I think he'll just die 5 times on lane.
I mean, it's very possible. But at least it's something, right? It's a possibility. But I mean, we're gonna have to see if we even get to Game 3, because at the moment that's gonna be tricky.
The draft already was on a significant disadvantage on even gold, and now we are sitting at a 2k gold lead for Cerberus. So in reality, this gold lead is actually, with even drafts, would be something like 6-7k. So it's a really big advantage, especially in team fights for Cerberus. There's no way FTV can ever win a team fight 5v5 right now. Police is not strong enough, Victory does not deal any damage, and then you have Elise from behind. She's not there.
Yeah.
This is sad. This teamfight setup is very sad. There's really not a whole lot FTV can do.
Yeah, it's yeah, as you said, what does FTV even do into this?
Yeah, they have to look for a flank. I think they have once they have double TP available, look for a pick and a flank with Rika and Victory. Try to land a Flash Cocoon maybe on Isila for Ronopi. That being said, Ronopi has clans available, so it's super hard to get a pick. They have to go for a pick here. They need 2-3 kills into maybe a Baron to turn around the game.
We also need to see pretty considerable throws from Cerberus.
Absolutely.
I think that's the only way this. We questioned a little bit why Yado picked Zoe over something like Yasuo, which would have fit the comp, but I think he's kind of shown why. He's been super impactful in team fights, hitting heaps of bubbles. I mean, the last 2 kills he's gotten have been on B. Killing support, not the most important thing in the world, but still doing a lot of damage, and it's still a kill's a kill.
And we already have criticized the draft from FTV a lot, but one particular thing I want to hone in on is the mid lane pick. We just saw in the first game Victory absolutely murdering Yado in mid lane. 2 solo kills, 4-1 in the mid game, the one shining light for FTV. And now they put him on a late game champ without lane priority. Just why? Coach from FTV, why? Please explain yourself.
Yeah, I don't. This Vladimir pick really baffles me. I just don't know what it was meant to do. Like, obviously, it was meant to be their late game stability, but how long's the late game? Like, how long do you expect this game to go? You've got triple AP. Everyone's going to build MR.
And even in the ultra late game, the comp will get outscaled. I don't even think FTV wins in the ultra late game. They only have one good late game champ. Akali is kind of okay in the late game, but compared to the other champs on the other side, Gragas hard outscales Elise and late. Varus outscales the Callista as well. Zoe is okay. Zoe's not as strong as Vladimir, but she's still dangerous in the late game.
Yeah, I mean, she can still one shot. Like one bubble hits the right target, that's just a kill.
Especially from her head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this FTV draft is sort of baffling. If you're gonna do this kind of draft, do it in game 1, because then at least you have a safety net.
I guess.
You're doing it in game 2. This was your. I mean, I don't think you should do this draft at all, but if you're going to,
yeah, and even if you want to run triple AP top lane, which is top side, which is already not great, please never run triple AP with Vladimir, because the one thing AP junglers like Gragas and Elise are super good at are early ganks and accelerating the game. And you need CC and lanes to set up the ganks. And Vladimir, how much CC does Vladimir have?
I think he's got 0 actually.
I think he has a slow. Yay.
It's true, he's got a slow. Good on him. A slow that costs him, I think, what, 8% of his health?
20%, I think, 20, right?
Oh, yeah, he's A. Fully charged, yeah, it is about 20%. Pretty ridiculous.
Wait, does he slows as well? Nice, he has 2 slows. His pool slows, right?
Yeah, I think his E slows if it's fully charged.
Oh yeah, that's right. So 2 slows. With considerable health investment, you can slow 2 times on Vladimir. So obviously the best gank setup of all time.
Yeah, it's not good. And he's going a fairly aggressive build here. He's going Proto Belt straight to a Rabadon's, which I mean I like that. I guess accelerating the late game. But it's just not going to be enough, and that's what scares me. He's in the side lane. I don't think YT can kill Victory here, especially not without vision of the rest of the team. I hope YT doesn't get baited here. Oh, he has been, though. Ooh, I was also completely wrong. He can absolutely kill Victory, as he does, even with Rika trying to help out.
Hey, Rika got the kill.
Good job getting the trade kill, but has to use his flash to get out of there. And the mid lane is under pressure here by Cerberus.
And coming back to the Vladimir build, it's pretty common to see second item Rabadon's Vladimir. But I don't think it's that great a choice this game. Looking at the enemy team, they have built a lot of MR. Actually, the Hex Drinker coming in from the enemy ADC. Double MR items on the enemy support, and those 2 are the targets you are looking for in the flanks. So I think he needs penetration in this game. Second item, Morelos would have been better, or at least Oblivion Orb into then Rabadon's would have been my choice.
Yeah, fair enough. I didn't really consider a huge amount of that. Then again, looking at the MR, there's not actually as much as you might expect. It's the Hex Drinker on Easy Love, as you pointed out. But other than that, there's not a huge amount of major MR.
Yeah, it's not enough to go Void stuff, but it is enough to go flat pan, in my opinion.
I think I agree. But yeah, I mean, in the end, we are sort of just trying to find ways for FTV to potentially win this. It's only a 3 and a bit K gold lead, but due to that damage profile and just general comps here, that
is a big lead, yeah. And 3 dragons as well.
So much damage onto B. Oh, whoa, Victory. Whoa, buddy. Interesting play here. So much damage on the YT, but it doesn't matter. Rika gets answered back. Easy Love picking that one up, and nothing else will come of this. That was Victory flashing in his pool.
Yeah,
oh, that looked
and that
really
actually was
bad.
a super tilting summoner drop for Rika there. I don't know if you spotted that, but he got exhausted from Yado. Yado had to exhaust.
Ow. B. See ya, man.
That was painful.
That's Zoe. Yep, Zoe, everyone.
Yeah, but absolute perfect summoner drop in the last team fight for Yado. He just got the exhaust on Rika, and Rika was in the backline but didn't deal any damage due to the exhaust. So.
Yeah,
Zoe looked strong in this game.
That's a tilter. For sure. I mean, as well, looking at builds again, Boots still not picked up here for Rika.
I mean,
That feels bad.
he has two strong mid-game items. If he
Yeah,
gets
so
the penetration boots now as well, the sorcerer reads, he has 33 penetration and can probably one-shot Yado.
I feel like you could have gone Boots before you finished your Morellos.
Yeah.
Get the Oblivion,
True.
finish your Boot.
Morello's not too valuable in this game, so I have to agree with you. There's only really the Varus healing coming in, and you should not be scared of Varus out-sustaining an Akali or something like that.
He just Varus either gets one shot or that's really, and the healing reduction's not going to change that. So it's interesting. Victor here runs away in the top lane, knows he's in pressure, so he'll be okay. What does FTV do here? Because Cerberus is just going to set up for Baron.
Yeah, that's a very hard question to answer. I think they might be able to kill YT if they invest two people. Try to get a very fast pick on YT, and then snowball the overall map advantage 5v4 into better Baron vision. I don't think Eureka can 1v1 kill YT right now. Might be able to do it.
I don't think so. I think it'd be close, but with the magic damage shield that Camille gets, it's just a lot to get through.
And a lot of sustain on the Camille as well. And it's Morello picked up for Rika as well. So double Morello for FTV, not great. Never build double Morello.
Unique passives are, in fact, unique.
I mean, it's on two different champs, but...
I know, but they, like, the Grievous won't stack.
Yeah.
Kuriko does use that Elise mechanic where he can dodge the sleep going off if he's in a repel, so that's nice for him. He doesn't die instantly.
And they get the
This is going to be the
flash.
top lane turret down. Yeah, you're right. They did get Yado's real flash. That's significant. Ocean Drake being picked up there, as we see in the picture-in-picture.
Okay, they look for the engage here. They need to land CC on Yado. They are already down to half HP on everyone.
Oh, he didn't finish the dragon.
Wait, what?
That's a mistake. It was one auto attack. That's a huge mistake here.
Yeah, they were calling the play there.
He's way too deep as well. He's got a Hemo plague on him. He's just going to go down. Look at the backside, though. Rod OP there. He's on his own a little bit. It doesn't matter. Yado picks up a kill there onto Kuriko. B as well being chased down. That's a triple kill out of nowhere for Zoe.
Zoe did not land anything there, just used her passive and, constantly resetting her passive damage to get the kills.
Fair champion. Yeah, this is pretty easy Baron here. A little bit of a mistake out of YT there that he TP'd without killing the dragon, which means the dragon just autoed him like 5 times for free. He came in with basically no health.
Can we get the Zoe meme in chat? Hello, writers. Let's make a champ.
Certainly T. Best champ designer at Riot.
Oh, man. That was one of the best threads I've ever seen in Reddit, where someone analyzed how many mechanics certainly team champs lost on average a year later or something. Something like
every single one of them had lost at least
1.5, I think, was the average. Yeah.
1.5. It was absurd. I mean, like Azir alone lost like 4. Just ridiculous.
Man,
imagine if YT had full health here.
Right, he just got wrecked. And the Ronald piece somehow there in the back line.
Must have, I think he altered.
Yeah, he ulted there for no real reason. Should have taken pot with him.
Missing everything.
Yeah, that's so for you.
Oh my god, that was so messy. But he did get the triple kill, so in the end, you're not going to complain. And this should be a pretty B getting slept again. Yado doesn't want to go over, fair enough, but Baron picked up here for Cerberus.
Oh,
And
teleport.
this is...
What?
Ooh, Yado gets hooked though. The TP, I don't think it was the right call, but in the end, he didn't even get an assist, so it definitely didn't do anything. But
Yeah, the flash was still down, so
he
good
is
capitalization from B.
taking so much damage. YT throws himself back. Oh, good gosh. Rono P bailing his top laner out there. Rono P's actually had a really good performance on this time catch.
Yep.
He's had some really clutch W's.
Not too flashy, the champ, but yeah, super good team fighting so far. Always picking the right target to swallow up. And look at the enemy items. There's finally Rabadons coming in, and second and third item for police. But there's still a significant item disadvantage, especially looking at the single target damage coming out from Easy Love compared to police. So that's a big struggle in terms of ADC comparison.
Especially considering the third item for police.
Oh no. Yeah, just finished the Rabadons. This is one-shot potential now.
Now?
Okay, sorry, yeah, fair enough.
Now he can miss a spell and still one-shot you. Because Zoe boys, gotta love it. I mean, he has 7 kills. I think he actually
deserves had a super good game
at this point.
Big redemption story between the 2 games, I think, right? Because first game looked horrific for him.
Yeah. Rika, why are you coming down here and floating around if you're not going to try something? You've got to kill YT here if you're FTV. This is your only chance. You need to outnumber YT and kill him, and then try and make a 4v5.
Yeah, they really need the 4v5 advantage, 5v4 advantage to do anything in this game anymore. Against Baron, against double siege, triple siege even, with Zoe, Varus, and Gragas AP.
Yep. It's a very bad time, and the base will be cracked. Mid lane inhibitor goes down. The turret, I should say, not the inhibitor itself. The inhibitor itself will likely follow quite soon. FTV needs to find the engage. They can't. They need to try and 2v1 YT or something.
Yeah, they can give up 1 inhibitor, they can't give up 2.
Yeah. It's so difficult to engage on this Camille here, though. She just hook shots away.
And the negative damage from Akali Q on Baron minions was very sad to see. She can't clear out anything there.
Absolutely. Not even close. Ooh, B flashes forward, does force the flash in return.
Wow.
That's a bad time, and now Kuriko gets barreled back. He's got nothing to repel to. He's buying so much time, but it doesn't matter.
I mean, at least he tried, right?
Yeah, at least, I mean, you got to do it, right? YT in the middle of a 1v4, but this is Camille. She's hook-shotted out of there after getting the inhibitor. Rika taking all the damage in the world. He's going to hide in his shroud and actually should be able to wander away there. Does well, but this is 2 inhibs down, and I think we're going to see Cerberus picking up their first series victory in this split of VCS. Yep, this looked pretty good. Oh, actually, we can have the last-ditch team fight here. We might not quite have the end. The Nexus is exposed, and Easy Love is free hitting. You can't let this happen. He's gone into a stopwatch. Surely it's over.
Wanted to look cool at the end of the game once again.
Yeah.
Look at the damage. Wow.
Yeah, with B going down there, this will be the end.
Stylish last kill for Yado, who had a super good game in game 2 after inting the mid lane, giving out 2 solo kills in the first game. Yeah, Cerberus come out on top. A little bit surprising. I think we both predicted FTV to be quite heavily the driving seat and the favorite coming in today.
I agree, yeah. I definitely would have picked FTV if I was a gambling man, but Cerberus, bad, sort of just looked almost better coached. I think their drafts were a little bit better, and that draft in game 2 out of FTV was just disastrous.
And the first game draft was so good. It's so disappointing. For some reason, VCS teams seem to not be able to get 2 good drafts in a row. A lot of times we see good drafts on one side and then absolutely appalling drafts on the other side. At least Cerberus this time was able to secure two good compositions and play them out. Second game was stronger than the first, in my opinion. First game hinged on the big blunder in the mid lane for FTV, but the second game was pretty much from start to finish in favor of Cerberus. No, there was one big turnaround in the mid lane once again. So FTV should probably not go to the mid lane too often. They threw away 2 games in a row.
Yeah. That's pretty true. They really need to work on the calls they're making in the mid game, and don't go for that NA-RAM style. You don't need to, and it's obviously not working for you.
It doesn't seem to fit them. And if you want to go for team fights, which is perfectly fine in this meta, pick team fight comps. Don't pick triple AP topside with Elise and Vladimir. Please don't. Your first draft was so good. And I think we kind of saw the crack to FTV. Just ban out the Poppy and force Rika on anything else, and you'll get kills from him. It doesn't really matter what he plays. Just don't let him have his Poppy.
Yep, I completely agree. Rika really looking weak. Just didn't know his damage breakpoints on Akali, which... I'm terrible at Akali, and when he ulted forward, I knew it wasn't a kill. So... if you're a professional player, you just have to do those things.
Yeah.
He looked super.
Don't first time champs on stage. That's not a great idea.
Yeah, it's true.
Only G2 can come away with that, I think. And even they struggle to win in that position. So Rika, just play your tanks, play your mages. Don't go for melee bruisery champions anymore. And then FTV can actually win series in this summer split, I think. Still believe they are competitive against at least the bottom 4 teams, but for some reason they fail to deliver in the most important games.
Yeah. I think it's difficult for them to rebuild their season, but it's definitely not too late in the split or anything. So yeah, I think they looked better. It's good to see improvement out of Cerberus.
Yep. And who's your MVP for Game 2?
Probably Yado, just based on KDA.
Yeah, I think so too. He had a good game. There's no real reason to give it to anyone else, I think. No super plays out of the other players. All around good performances from all the members from Cerberus. But Yado had an outstanding game. So let's honor him with an MVP as well. So YT and Yado getting the MVPs for Cerberus for us. And the second series today awaits us in around 1 hour, I think. And this will be a banger. It will be low-key facing off against EVOS. 3-1 team against a 2-2 team. So this is a clash for the top spots.
Yeah, exactly. And Yado picking up that official MVP as well. Not at all a surprise. He went 9-2. Had a pretty cracker of a game. But yeah, looking forward to the second series. Should be much better League of Legends, hopefully, in terms of execution and play. I want to see Loki really get back to the form we were calling them having in the early parts of this split, first week or so.
Yep.
I think we rated them quite highly, and then they stumbled a few times, which is a real shame.
Yeah, they lost the game to FTV, for example. As did EVOS. So we have the 2 teams that actually gave up games to the worst team in the league as of right now, playing against each other. EVOS coming back from Rift Rivals, where they had one pretty good game against someone, and one not so great game against who was the team? Top Sports, Esport. So let's see what they can bring back to the VCS. Maybe a little bit of LPL action.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Hopefully they've learnt a few things while they were overseas, and we can see it brought out on display here for the VCS.
Yeah, as you can see, it's we're going to hit the Rift at in approximately 62 minutes. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you in an hour. Have a good break.